Hey everybody. Happy... Yeah, it's Wednesday. Sorry. This heat is a lot. Happy Wednesday. I hope the day has been restful and productive for y'all. Andrew Cuomo lost the New York City mayoral primary, so fuck him. Go Mamdani. That is how my day has been. Makes me proud to be a New Yorker, yeah. And I'm only going to do a little more I'm only going to do a little more, and then we're going to be out of here. Right? We're just going to be, we'll see how they'll do gets out of whatever Republican. Yeah, this thing I was going to say, this is just as much of scandal, man, you know? Like, that's the thing, right? So, literally, there are obviously other things that Mamdani has to consider very carefully going forward from here. But, also, hi, Tom. Basically, at this point, at least from my perspective, one of the major things that he has an advantage is that Adams is basically just as much of a loser as Cuomo. So you have just as many points on the no count, no good man scale to also hope against. That's pretty much that, as far as I'm concerned. So, a couple of things about today's stream, a little different than usual. So, normally I do like a bunch of programming for shoot lanzer stuff and go like deep into the weeds on that. I've been doing that since getting back from CEO for a good couple of days straight. So I want to show off some stuff for shoot lanzer, but then we're going to work on something else today. I am debating on what that something else is, which is why it's question marks down below. It's not something that yeah, we'll see what it is. Basically, the main thing is that basically this is the main thing. Insofar as current showcase plans for shoot lanzer and why I was putting in so much time with the programming. So first things first, we have Archway Arcade down in Dumbo this Friday, so that's going to be happening. And that is going to be a lot of fun. Following that, we were recently announced for Play NYC up here in the city in Let me think. August. August, I think. Yeah. So basically speaking, I was cooking really, 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 really a lot in order to make sure that we are ready for those two. And that's why I was just like, and that's why I'm like today gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna take a look at some of the stuff I'm working on with Shoot Lanzer, but I'm not gonna do a lot of programming of Shoot Lanzer today. I hit that saturation point where I have been looking at the code base enough and looking at the things I've been doing enough that I do not have the mental capacity to tell specifically what things I can further adjust on that point. And I do not mean that in the sense of like, well, obviously the game is perfect, so nothing can be changed. But it's like, no, people who are not me need to be the ones to look at this game and let me know what's up, including other members of the team, so that they can ask about certain things or go from there, right? So oh, that said though, let me find the controller. And we're gonna get into it. The only other thing about the heat, even with the fan, is that it becomes very hard for me to, more so than usual, I noticed. I start having some issue trying to remember the things that I was doing or the things that I need to do. For example, I should turn down the music on this so that I'm not yelling super loud. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I've been fumbling 3 times to try to remember where I put the Godot window, and I couldn't remember where to look. Heat's exhausting, y'all. Literally draining. I am considering at least like once a job becomes a thing, or maybe I'll go leave it up on. I may wind up leaving it on what's called on Throne. I think I'm allowed to have like a portable AC unit in here without getting yelled at by management, so I might do that. I know y'all can't see it.
Shoot lanzer.
Give me a second. You heard that. That's good, at least.
Here are the records.
Okay, we'll get into it in a second. There is one thing I found that I do need to fix. Damn it. I like how I said I wasn't going to like be doing any programming or anything. It's not programming, but there's something I immediately saw that I'm like, I need to fix this. Because in my brain I went, that's not what that should say. It's like math, it's inevitable. Yeah. There we go. That's the thing I had to fix. It's literally that.
Shoot lanzer. Can you keep up, rookie?
So all these voice clips are temporary. None of these are staying, but I had to get as many of them in as I could so that we could sort of test out
Shoot lanzer.
how they feel, and then the person that we are looking at to actively re-record them will both have an idea of what they actually want, and I won't have to like do the code to get it going at that point.
Swift flying, rookie.
So the first thing you'll notice is that thing that says ultimate charging, and we'll talk about that in a minute. It's not quite. I caught a bug. Haha.
Ultimate booster. Stage 1. Ready? Swift flying, rookie.
So, basically, in short, the purge has not been necessarily replaced, but we've adjusted some of the messaging around the way that it works.
Spin off.
And added like one of the mechanics in order to sort of like sell the thing that it kind of really is.
Spin off.
Essentially speaking, rather than a purge now, it is called an ultimate. And all the same rules for how you activate it apply, insofar as you have to have the shock power up in order for it to work, all that other stuff. The main thing is that it has a timer associated with it, so you can't kind of just use it whenever. And once that timer is all the way full, and you have So yeah, like essentially speaking, right? Once you have a shot power up and the meat and like the timer has filled up,
Spin on. Ultimate on. Booster. Spin on.
still.
Rank out. Spin on. Spin on. Spin on. Spin on. Spin on. Stage clear.
So yeah, basically speaking, aside from those animated elements and things like that, the main sort of thrust is that there is also a perfect spin mechanic now that is sort of related to Leona's spin ability.
Stage
You can see it
two.
when she flashes white
Ready? Swift flying, rookie.
while spinning.
Spin on.
Every bullet that you manage to hit during the perfect spin window
Spin on.
will reduce the cooldown of your next spin
Ready.
and reduces the and you have to wait to use your ultimate.
Spin on. Spin on. Speed. Power.
You also do get
Spin on.
a small number of points for doing for every
Spin on.
bullet that you hit while doing a perfect spin. And you do get points for picking up power-ups and things like that. The ultimate with Power Shot is a little different now than what it used to be.
Laser. Spin on. Speed. Spin on. Spin on. Ready. Spin on. Ranked up.
Yeah, it's kind of tradition for shmups.
Stage clear.
It's kind of tradition for shmups to have a giant fuck-off laser somewhere. It used to belong only to the stage 3 boss, but now it also belongs to Leo. So basically a lot of what I've been cooking insofar as Shoot Lancer has been concerned has mostly been around changing the messaging of the Purge, because people hear Purge and kind of get like people hear Purge as mechanic and get kind of like I think like they hear that and get and kind of go like, oh, well, this is something bad because like you're purging, right? You're throwing something away. And so just that little framing, we don't know for sure how it'll land just yet. We kind of want to see how it goes, but it was something that was suggested to me the last couple of days of the last couple of like the last day, not couple of days, the last day-ish of CEO, right? And so once that happened, it all kind of began to click, right? And this is one of those things that I think is really important. Especially one that sort of demonstrates the importance of how you frame and how you talk about mechanics in particular can really affect the whole discourse around how players receive it, right? And so while I don't know for sure how this is going to land with other people, but my main prognosis is optimistic. That by framing it as an ultimate, it's one of those things that will sort of like help it'll wind up helping establish the way that we want to get people to really engage with the mechanic and feel like it does a thing. So we're gonna see how this goes. All right. So that said, I do have to fix like I do have to fix a couple of things that did immediately stick out to me. And I have to do it now or I'm gonna forget. So despite me saying Stubby's correct, despite me saying that I wasn't planning on actually doing any programming for Shoot Lancer, it's inevitable. But yeah, the nice thing about the change over to the Ultimate system as well is that, especially with the whole thing that I guess you could sort of say that, essentially speaking, both of the effects of what is now the ultimate button before the rework, they were both very defensive in nature, which is not a bad thing. But I think it sort of helps exemplify the identity of each shot type a little bit more in a way. And it's not something I realized until I started talking about it just this second. Because essentially, while we were at CEO, one of the major things that a lot of people were saying is there were a couple of exceptions, but a lot of people preferred the speed shot over the power shot because the power shot is perceived, well, it is slower because its rate of fire is slower. Not the travel speed, but the rate of fire is slower. So a lot of people would prefer speed shot instead, except for maybe one or two outliers who are like, well, the thing is that I don't have to worry about firing fast if I can only shoot them a few times and they die. Which, factual, right? But now with the fact that we sort of like, or the fact that I should say in this particular case, the fact that I made the decision to kind of like make this, no, it's still we, technically. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart because the heat is making my brain not fit. Let me back that up a little bit. Sorry. Ultimately, the fact that the change was suggested to me by other members of the team who were thinking about the feedback that we were getting, I think it's worked out for the best because it has put us in a position where, yeah, now we have two very different ultimates that suit two very different weapon and play styles. Okay, so we need to do that. I forgot to do this. This will probably help. Okay, so it was already set to. Huh. Interesting. So it was already set to stop. So then why? Oh, that is interesting though, because it shouldn't. It shouldn't still be flashing ultimate ready after that situation. Then that's interesting. Yeah, so it's supposed to stop, become invisible, and go false. That's interesting. And I did it twice even. The duration meter gets hidden. Okay, interesting. All right, I'm not going to dive too deep into that because the temptation to start picking and poking and picking and poking will be strong. I think I'll save it again for like tomorrow or something when I get another chance after I've rested some more. I've had a little bit more time away from the code base and my brain can approach it fresh. Ooh, okay. I think I know what I want to switch to. So like I said, we're gonna leave shoot lanzer alone for right now. I just wanted to show you all that really quick. Okay, let's see. Oh, huh. Dang it. I got mental note to self. Make sure that I actually hide the window between swapping. Well, now y'all know what the other game was that I was planning on working on today. Surprise! After all this time, we are returning to the old ways. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, yep, I'm going to stress very loudly. I'm going to stress very loudly. This is not necessarily affirmation that this is the next game that Munity is working on. I'm stressing this very loudly and I'm stressing this very carefully. And that's not me trying to do it like a psych out or like a psyop or anything like that. I'm saying it very explicitly because it's important that this is understood. Munity decides as a group what games we're going to work on. And while a Final Spike 2 has been a thing that has been talked about, that does not necessarily mean that it is going to be the next game that we are working on. So I want to emphasize very loudly that while I am going to be doing some dev work on this, mostly just because I have a couple of itches that I want to scratch regarding Final Spike itself, especially the possibility of a second game, I'm going to reemphasize again that this is not a guarantee that this is the next thing that Munity is working on. This is not a guarantee that this is the next thing that Munity is working on. This is just something that I feel like doing because I want to do it. This is not a guarantee that this is what Munity is working on. This is not a guarantee that this is what Munity is working on. I know I've said that like 5 times already, but I want to make sure that it's exceptionally clear. Mostly for people who happen to be watching this later, but also just to be clear about it because it's important. This is not a guarantee that this is the next project that Munity will be working on. Whatever that project is something that the team decides as a group, and I'm not responsible for making that decision by myself. I mostly just felt like working on it because so yeah. All that said, let me go dig up the thing I was looking for because I got distracted. For people who are like, I have no idea what Final Spike is, why is this important? Um, Final Spike is the first video game I ever commercially released back in 20. I want to say 2018, but I get the year wrong all the time. I'm pretty sure it was 2018, but it was probably 2019. But yeah, it was the first commercial release I ever made. It was based off of a prompt I got um, for a class that I was taking um, at the master's program in NYU for game design. Basically, what wound up happening was Okay, let's see here. Someone was also kind enough to make a game template thing, so I may just spend a little bit of time converting Final Spike over to that, and then messing around a little bit. Okay. Interesting. 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 Okay. Okay, hold on a second. This is being. Oh, I messed up something with the code. Okay, so I don't actually need my own scene manager now. I'm going to do this. So let's just yeet that. I don't think we're going to need that either, so. Some of these are holdover. So I'm just sitting down and cleaning out a couple things on the back end a little bit. So let me just do two things real quick. Project settings, So that one's fine. Let's turn off that one. Close this real quick. We're going to get rid of 2 of these things. Then it exploded. All right, hold on. So basically, to explain what I'm doing here in the background, because I realized that I went like really quiet for like a hot second there. I was looking through the assets on Godot's asset library, and I happened to find while looking for assets for some stuff that might be like Shoot Lancer related. I found basically what happened was that I found something that's actually really nice for just like basic scene composition. So I'm just trying to like organize or reorganize the game around this game template. Okay. Okay, what are y'all screaming about? I do not know why Final Spike is exploding a couple times while I'm trying to get this to go. I am crying a little. Oh, is it because I already had the input remapping one? I wonder. Hold on. That might be why. Hold on a second. I think I know how to fix this. Let's go to the plugins real quick. It's because I did also install like an input remapping something from the same person. And it may just be that like I don't have to do both of those at the same time if I already have if I already have one of these in here. So I'm going to remove that. We're not going to save that, actually, because that no longer exists. I'm going to rebuild the project real quick just to like make sure that it can calm down a little. Now we're going to try this again. It only occurred to me when I was looking at it, and it was like, hey, these two things that you imported have almost exactly the same import UIDs. I was like, that's probably why, isn't it? I may still get a bunch of errors when I do this part, because of course I would. All right. Okay, that turned out clean. So now I'm going to go into the project settings, going to go to the plugins. I just need to make sure that both of these match. Okay, cool. It looks like it is much less angry about that now. We're going to do main menu with animations. All right, so we're over here. Select the title node, and then we're going to go from there. So I'm basically just running through the steps that they have given me in order to test and make sure that everything is working correctly. Nope, not the one I wanted. We can just hit subtitle label, clear that out. All right, what else? Okay, whoops, hold on. Next thing it says is open that and select the main menu node and then find the game scene path. Okay, so this is main menu node. Yep. Okay, what's it say here? Hang on. I'm gonna move this window with the instructions over to the other monitor so I can see what the hell I'm doing. Okay, no build errors. Game scene path doesn't seem to exist here. That's weird. Alright, well, for now, I'm gonna have to leave this one alone. Yeah, we're gonna do, where is it? Add bus. Change it. Music. Next. Right now, we're not gonna do anything with music just yet. Okay, cool. Controls node over here. Okay. Input action list or input action tree. Let's do list. And leave that alone. Let's say list input actions. List is over here. Okay, so input action names. We're gonna do keyboard. Controller. Blank the rest of these out. Input action names. Readable action names. So input action names, we need to match them to the inputs that we're using. At least those that we want to be able to remap. So we're going to go to the project settings. We're going to go to the input map. Whatever I have listed here are the ones that I should do. So move left, move right, crouch, jump, set, spike. So I need to take a screenshot of, I'm going to take a screenshot of these so I remember how I spelled them. Close that real quick, and then we're just going to make sure that the way I spelled them is the way that I put them in over here, which means I need to put it over on this screen for a second. So we're going to do left, right, crouch, jump, set, spike, and those are the only ones that we want. Oh, cool! And then it automatically updated them like that. That's actually that's really nifty. I like that. That's really sick, actually. Now let's do one thing. Mini underscore options menu. Let's see what's in here. Okay, there's that one, but we're not going to use it. We're going to use audio, game, video. Okay. Yeah, we like these. Or the one with tabs might work better, I think. I like the one with tabs because it keeps everything in one spot. This is a lot of customization though. Okay, so let's do attribution. Yeah. Cool. So it has a separate attribution file that can be used to update credits and go from there. Main menu with animations. Okay. So the main thing that is giving me a little bit of an annoyance is that I can't see. It feels as if there should be something I should be able to select already, and I cannot do that. No, not that one. Not that one either. Okay, so then why? Why is it attempting to do that? That's really weird. Don't think I need those. Don't think I need that either. Alright. Because the thing that seems weird mostly is that there's one thing that I'm missing. And the thing that I'm missing is that, for whatever reason, interesting. Sorry, I'm just waiting for this to extract a certain thing, and then I'm gonna keep trying to poke it, trying to get this menu to work correctly. I'm gonna put a post that I just saw over in a different corner, and I'm gonna yell later. I'm gonna yell later because I don't know how, of all things, you. The most I'm going to say is that you see how and you understand how people in your industry are lambasting the use of anything related to generative AI. You see it. There's no way that you can't not know about it. There is no way that you can't not know about it. And then you make the decision to announce that you've got a corporate gold sponsor in this. And I'm just like, I hate capitalism so much. Anyway. So the thing that's kind of like giving me a little bit of annoyance with this right now, one of us is going to figure out that people inherently will value products that use Gen AI on account of them not involving human scale and not capitalism. Yeah. All I'm going to say is that this is an organization that should know better. This is an organization that should know better. This is an organization that should really, really know better. Considering that the boneheaded moves from competitor is what literally drove their, I'm going to say stock, but not in the literal sense because they're not publicly traded. What drove their stock up otherwise is that they chose this thing of all things. I'm really, really extremely agitated. Because they should know better. This is really fucking obvious. Relevance in this case, yes. 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 Um, but yeah, no, they should know better. This is something that they should know much better about. This is not something I can do anything about because the alternatives are vanishingly small, and it's just one of those things where, as much as I dislike, there's a different tack that I have to take here, insofar as potential methods of communication. But it's not as easy, unfortunately, as throwing the thing out. The alternatives to using the thing are not ideal. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try one thing real quick. It's still not working the way that In 3 years, we're going to be back to using text-based IRC chats as the main hub of online communities. Yeah. I may spill the beans and talk about what the thing is, but not here. I'll do it probably in the Gilded. I don't want to do it here because I don't want to do it here because there are a couple other people I need to tell first, and then I'll talk about it in the Gilded, really, because yeah, there are other people that I have to talk about. In fact, let me just go grab the thing and go tell them now. Because I might as well get it out of the way. I gotta actually go. I hate that I have to go here to go look at this. But I'm gonna go over here, go do this thing, go tell the people I need to tell, and then... Alright. That's about as dealt with as it can be dealt with for now. Okay. I'm gonna keep poking at this to try to see if I can figure out how to get this to work correctly. The one saving grace is that the thing that I'm so irritated about is not something like a direct integration of it mandatory into the platform, just that it's there, and now this is yeah. I know everybody else in the guild look is not going to be happy about it either. I'm not happy about it right now, but wait, what did I miss? I read some news about a thing. That thing got me very, very agitated. For me, anyway. As agitated as I'm willing to be on stream about these things. I'm not naming names publicly right this second because I'll get really annoyed. But suffice to say that basically speaking, an organization that should know much better than to do some bullshit around generative AI decided to do some bullshit around generative AI. Not like a direct integration, but like, hey, so we got money from this organization that does it, so we're gonna shout them out for that. And the only place that they announced this was on Twitter, and even on Twitter, there are a number of people in the replies that are lighting them up saying, this is garbage. Why did you do this? It's not like it's still like an optional module integration, basically, so to speak, where it's like, technically speaking, it's not directly a part of the program that you have to interface with, but taking $1,500, from an organization that does this bullshit, and then giving them a shout out only on Twitter, because you know perfectly well that if you announce it anywhere else, people are going to be up your ass about it. I just... Anyway. Hold on a second. I should... these two as well. Oh. Why is plugin example still listed there? That's weird. So yeah, I'm really annoyed about it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, it looks like I was able to restart it and get it to stop being weird. So it looks like most of this is working correctly now. Okay, cool. It looks like that is working the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to restart it again because they're like, hey, when you do this thing, you should restart it. Hey, Cat Wizard, welcome on in. Right, don't shrimp. I was helping friends with a raid. Mm-hmm. I'm also looking over some of the I'm also looking over some of the changes for Godot 4.6 while I wait for certain things to load, so that's another reason why I've been quiet. Godot 4.5, we're not gonna. We probably won't. We probably won't move Final Spike to it. I shouldn't say that we won't for sure. It depends on how certain things go. So let's see. Hold on a second. Project settings. Right. Okay, so let's see here. Kiddo, why are you doing this to me? There's no reason for you to do this to me, Kiddo. Why? Why do you insist on this? Okay, it relaunched. Cannot navigate to. Oh, is that what happened? I put it in the wrong spot. I think, right? Yeah, it's supposed to go in here. Okay, that should be fixed now. try this again. But on the other hand, this part looks like it stopped being weird, which is good. Oh, hey Anomaly, and hello Julian Velez. Welcome on in, the both of you. Life is pretty good. It's really hot here. I'm really hot here. My mood is at, if we're gonna do 1 to 100, and then say that like 100 is on the high end of good, and then 0 is on like the low end of again. I need a drink. I'll be right back. Parched all of a sudden. None of y'all. Hey Shiny, you missed chat basically trying to murder me. Can't stand out of one of y'all. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you. I hope y'all are doing well with the heat. I feel like all the California and Southwest should be getting transferred to the other state. Yeah, I have a fan. So it's helping at least a little bit. But it's helping at least a little bit. One of the things I'm thinking about at some point is probably putting up a portable AC unit. Not one that like fits into the windows, because that requires way more from the apartment complex I live in. They get very particular about that. I think I should be able to get away with like a mobile AC unit. I may put it up on the thing that I hit, the throne. I may put it up on my throne for people to kind of go here. I'm now a fully nighttime creature because fuck it's possible. It's like 35 degrees Celsius during the day. Um, for context, for people who use Fahrenheit, who are in countries where Fahrenheit is primarily it, I want to say, based on what Anomaly is saying, that's like somewhere between 90 to 100 degrees. Probably closer to 100 than 90. Very hot. Country that use that's fair. Fair. Right. Fair enough. You got me. $35 degrees Celsius is like very low body temperature. Normal body temperature is like around 36. Yeah. So then that's close to like 97, 98 degrees Fahrenheit or so. Hit 100 here for the first time this year the other day. Yeah. Yesterday, Tuesday, was like 100 and something degrees, and like supposed to be like 100 degrees in the city. There was a thing I was planning on going out to, and I'd already done my early voting. But between the heat and the fact that I would have been going by myself, I was like, no, actually. The answer to this is my ass is not going out in that. Also, if I'm going to be alone in this particular case, I'd rather not. It hit 86 degrees Fahrenheit today, but it took a while to get there. Mm-hmm. But yeah, okay. It looks like I finally got the template to stop being a little bit cursed. So let me actually make some progress on it instead of like being so wildly distractible. Even if the reason I was being wildly distractible is because y'all decided to target me with metaphorical violence, not literal. Okay, main menu with animations. Alright. Subtitle label, we're just going to blank that out because that's important. New game button, we're just going to put here and we're going to say file container. We're just going to put a texture rect in here. Title, label. We're also going to blank that out, and the texture rect is going to be just the oh right, I should have parented this to something, so we'll do this. Reparent to new node, we're going to put this on a control node. So what's the actual size of this thing? This is Why did that come out that size? That is not the size that needs to be. That is way too... God damn it. I'm afraid about any more jokes when you sharing that ass to people for free. Getting into drinking something. Uh, yeah, I just... what does one say? At times like these. What does one say? Sorry, y'all, just give me 1 second. I am taking a minute to adjust a logo that I was working on so that the logo file so that it's not so absurdly large when I import it. And that means I gotta mess with this. Can't stand y'all. Literally all being in the same spot. I'm talking about the flesh being elite. Chat, my crush texted me for the first time in a while. I don't want to be upset with them not talking to me, but also yay. Probably gonna be meeting up again on Saturday. Listen, go off. Okay, there we go. In the background, now this thing is much less absurdly huge. Okay, now let's try this again. Now this logo isn't so grossly gigantic. Okay, good. So now the control, we could just do... Just do this, and then we can come over to this thing, and then we can have it do this. There we go. That is much less patently absurd a size. Thank you. Cool. Cool. Alright, this works. This does what it's supposed to do. Main menu with animations, title label. Okay. So I just don't want a continue button though, that's the thing, because I don't need that. Setting up the main menu. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, cool. So y'all couldn't see any of that because I forgot to double check to make sure that this thing is like actually. And then of course ads showed up. All right, love that for us. I really need to continue button is the thing, so I'm trying to figure out. Okay, hang on a second. I think this is why this is having trouble. Since base size. Give me a second. Okay. Interesting. Is there a class that just does... Is that internal to Godot? Because it looks like it. That's interesting. Hang on. Well, would you look at that? Godot has a native... Yeah, Godot has a native window type for doing what we call modal confirmations, where you need to like confirm whether or not a thing, like for cancel windows and like for selecting cancel windows and stuff like that, useful for that. Very interesting. So, what thing though? We don't need this stuff. So, I'm gonna comment out some of this stuff. Don't need a continue button here. And while I'm not a big GDScript user, auto confirmations sounds like the better version of positive affirmation. Something like that. Okay, good. So that much at least looks like it works correctly. So while I don't know a lot of GDScript, I know enough GDScript to be able to look at that and go, right, I don't need this, and I don't need this, and I don't need this, and I don't need this, right? The main thing I need to figure out is why Okay, let's try that. I'm messing around with the code just a little bit for this part because I know just enough about GDScript to be a little clever. Your flesh vessel will one day crumble and that is okay. Yep. Okay, cool. And then if we go to options, okay. Yeah, so we want primary is keyboard. No, primary. All right, we have to reset some of these. But primary looks like it wants to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Audio, video, game, resolution. Okay, cool. VSync, we have those. Anti-aliasing, and then full screen. Okay, cool. So you can figure out some of this. Okay. That said, though, I need to go mess around with the, let's see, options button. On options button pressed. I need to go over to there as a script. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay. See, that's something I was worried about because it looks like yeah, it looks like some of these yeah, it looks like some of these are just going to be weird now. Okay. Okay, hold on. I think so. The thing I had set up worked initially. The main problem is just that um, it looks like, from the looks of it, that like attempting to duplicate a thing out caused some shenanigans, um, and it's being weird. So I'm going to explode the game template again and try to re-import it. To and then plugins. Okay, good. All right, we're gonna try this one more time, once more from the top. Ah, that got messed up. Okay, so let's see here. It is a very nice template. It's just that shenanigans in getting it installed are kind of a pain. Let's see, it's open, logo, close. Try that one again, shall we? Dang it. Yeah, I know this wound up being a lot less like immediate cool running around doing programming stuff than I intended for it to be, but some of this is about like trying to make sure that I get the right things set up the first time so that one, I understand how to use this thing, and two, that things break less. It's one of those things where it's like all of the boring shit ideally should be made to work better before you really get into all of the other stuff. Okay, so a thing I do want to try though is game scenes. So we don't need a title screen scene anymore because this has already been handled. Test scene. We also, yeah, we are going to need that one, but not quite yet. So create new scene. This is mostly based in the user interface, right? Could we have to determine going to start with character select first because that's the important part. Make sure that this is in here at the start. So basically speaking, what's happening here is that I want to make sure that I set up proper transitions between menus and stuff like that. So main. So we're going to clear the inheritance. Menu container. Start game right here. And this one we're going to say new game, but we're going to say practice mode button. And this one, if I can even rename it, I don't think I can rename it. All right, night, Stubby. Let's see. Send. Okay, cool. Because the main thing I want to do here is. Nope, 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 nope. I need to find continue. Yeah, we don't need to do this part. That part's not important. I don't know a lot about GDScript, but like I said, I know enough to tweak the things I need to tweak. And then versus mode does go to the character select. And then that's fine. Character select, over here we have the player manager. I need to write a script to help me make sure that I understand how this works. So I'm going to go crack open. So basically right now, the way that Final Spike is currently set up, I have this thing that I have this base project that I went ahead and like added to it, and then there is another thing that I have that is specifically for multiplayer input, so I can sort of understand. I did for multiplayer input in order to figure out how to in order to figure out how to have multiple people in the game at the same time. Because doing it by default in Godot is kind of a pain in the ass. A little difficult to do. So for the purposes of trying to get this to work, I'm just going to knock out a little bit with the character select scene early, even if it's nothing fancy yet, just to make sure that we can get some things actually up and running the way that they should be. So scripts. Create new folder, scene control script, what we'll call it, and here we're going to add a new script and we're going to call it character select scene control script. This is basically what it is. I'm gonna drop that off up here, and then we're gonna go edit this, and we're gonna throw this shit from the example that I'm using into here. We are not going to use this because now we're going to do public static, because what's the information I need to keep in here? Okay, device int. Okay, so we're gonna do over here public static array int. So we're just gonna do that. And then the first thing that we're going to do is over here, we're going to do this. I'm going to do const here player joined. What we're going to do is void add player device info, void remove player device info, in player in player. Now, rather than that, we're going to say here add player device info and then move player device info. Basically, every time that we come back to this scene, we're going to want to reset the device IDs anyway. And the reason for that is because basically we want, what we want ideally is that okay, so we're going to do if device IDs dot count is less than max player count. So we're not going to do any of that stuff. We are going to say though that or we could just do public static int and then device IDs equals. There we go. And now we'll do device IDs. No, it does need to actually be. We do want this actually, and then we'll do device IDs dot player dot add And then for this one, we want to make sure that if it's greater than 0, do that. Okay. And then player manager. Okay. Join. All right. So then that means for join, we should put in input map. We do need something for join. So we're just going to do add new action. We'll call it join. Add. For keyboard, it's Z. For this one, it's that. So we're going to, we'll just do join. Okay, so character select. Okay. So we got the player manager node in there. Okay, Godot, you're being a little weird. Godot? Oh, it's because I think I have the, Godot. Hey, Godot. Need you to wake up a little. You're being kind of weird, buddy. Oh, it's because sometimes Godot has a thing where if you leave... hang on a second, I gotta see if I can get it to stop being weird. If you wind up leaving the input window open while you're messing around with other stuff, it starts getting angry, and you don't get to click on things. So I'm trying to just like shake it a little bit so that it stops being weird, so I can do the thing. There we go. Thank you, Godot. That was a little weird. Alright, so let's just do real quick. So yeah, some of these are extra types that are being added by that. So let's do that, and we're just going to do control, and hang on, that's wrong. Over here, we want to do reparent to new node, and then we're going to say control, and we're going to say join text control. You, my friend, are at least 500 by 100, and you go into the center of the screen. So we use a control. Let me do it like this, actually. So join text. We use a control to control the size of HUD items, and then we use the actual label from there. Pivot offset should be 250/50. So the pivot offset is dead in the center. And now all we really need to do is expand this, and now you'll see that it fits in the same size, right? Transform, pivot offset, we'll do another 250/50, so it's dead in the center. And then it's like, all right, press A to join, ... And all we need to do is center, character select. I am going to do, let's see. So let's do region private variables. Oh, y'all can't see it, I think, because I turned off the, I think I turned off the Visual Studio capture window, or it's not capturing the right thing, that's why. Here we go. So we're gonna just do a private variable for the player manager. And then we're gonna have a public one, public variables. And the reason why I'm doing regions is so I can like collapse stuff if I need to. And then this is just region consts and region. Okay. Oh, let's go. I forgot to do it here. All right, there we go. Cool. And now we're going to do region exported variables and region, and then we're just going to do export label join label text. And then we're going to do for int I equals 0, I is less than device IDs dot count I plus plus. Very simply, we're going to do and then so if device IDs dot count equals 0. Join label text dot text is just press a slash keyboard Z to join. And otherwise else. So this is just like a quick and dirty way of me making sure I can see what devices are what. Join label text dot text. So else we're gonna do first. We're gonna make this empty plus equals string dot format player this I'm going to do another one here because we need to do this. So here we need to do I plus 1. And then for the second one, we need to do device IDs I. Okay, cool. Here, hang on. Get void, select substates, and then we're going to do void, or rather, select substates equals select substates current select substate. And for this one, rather than process, we're going to leave process alone, but we're going to do void controller assignment. Well, no. Here's the way that really I want to do it. Let's do it properly the first way. So here is the deal, right? Ultimately, what I want here is a state machine for being able to do this correctly. And so what I should do is, and what I'm going to do now is this. Character select state machine. I'm going to very explicitly make one here by doing this. It's the very same setup that's in Shoot Lanzer. It's very much on purpose. We're going to do character select controller assignment state, or character select control assignment state. So character select control assign, just to make my life easier. So here we're going to go into the states. We're going to put a state machine on this one. And then here, I don't need menus. What I am going to need is scene controls. Like, whoops, scene control. And then I'm going to do in here create another folder for character select. Well, character select scenes or states is what I should say. And then we're going to do another script, and we're going to do character select control assign. Because the idea basically is that whenever, for example, I want to be able to make it very easy so that when I back out to the point in the character select where I need to select, if I back out a little bit, I can make it go back to this point and make it go, all right, here's the deal. Reassign these and do whatever you need to do. So in order to make that work, though, I need to do this. So we're going to just do state here. And over here in this control script, rather than even having, that's going to be fine. We're going to get rid of that. Character select control assign, very simple. We're going to want to do public override on start, public override update state, and two things we're going to do here. So this code is fine. We're not going to mess with that. What we are going to do, however, is we're going to grab this code, copy it, and paste it over into the control assign for update state. So only when we are in the character select control assign state are we going to bother doing all of this, which means that I need to set up two things. Export underscore player manager underscore player manager. So we're going to do another export. Join. We're going to do label join label text, and what I should do is rename this to join label underscore node, and then this is player manager underscore node. And then over here we just need to do, we're not going to need assistant collections here, but we are going to. And then I need to just using static and here we're going to do Godot.collections.array int device IDs. And that will just handle the join input on its own. Oh, right. I don't have to do that over. Right. I can just, I'm not going to delete this code. Right now, though, I am going to comment this code out. I'm not going to delete it, but I am going to comment it out. I am also going to comment it out over here. We're going to copy this. I'm going to have to rename this node at some point. I messed that up. Public override ready. We're going to drop this stuff off over here. And I need to uncomment it now. Okay, and then over here, drop these off over here, and that should fix one of those issues. We're gonna do I don't have to change, thankfully. I can just do character, select, scene control script dot. Because this is a thing to make it public. Public. Nope. Stop that. Max player count. Go to the underscore here. And then I just need to do a couple other things real quick. Rebuild it. Do this, and then where is it? Over here in this state, we're going to drop that off, and then in the actual character select state machine, we need to make sure that we auto start the state machine, do control assign as the first one, and show state debug just in case, so we can like debug this out. And now let's try it. Okay, good. That works. Baller. That works. Now, the only thing is that at some point, I will have to devise a method by which the GD script communicates to the C# script that so let's see, Godot chains. Let's see. That's going to be the tricky part, essentially speaking. I have to, essentially speaking, the hard part for later, I think, I'm not going to deal with this right this second, is that when you hit the versus button, I have to set it up such that the versus button versus the haha jokes. Basically, I have to set it up such that I have to set it up so that the character select screen knows which mode got engaged, whether it's training mode or versus mode. And that's going to be more important later, not right now. That's a later issue to figure out. That's a later thing to figure out, basically. I think what I may want to do, though, is... Let's see. Yeah, because I don't think I need the rest of these right now. So we're going to just do save, and I'm going to do public enum character select mode, and we're gonna do over here versus training, because the idea basically, right, is that what I want to do is what I want to make sure that I do is that what I want to make sure that I do is that I keep track of which character select mode we're going to be going into. And once I do that, because that, technically speaking, really it should not have an effect on... there are other ways I could probably get around it, where I can basically try to keep track of what player does what, essentially speaking. So let me phrase that differently. What I need to do at some point is keep track of whether or not versus or training was selected, so that I can affect certain other variables differently, but that's a future problem. Over here, we're going to do that, and we're going to do that. And if device IDs.count equals we're going to do state machine dot change state forward. All right, I need to go get rid of the settings manager because I'm not using that one. Settings manager, not using you. So you can go away now. Okay, and then for the forward state, so we're going to duplicate this, and now we're going to do character select, character select. Make that a lot easier, right? So over here, we're going to say control assign, and then over here, character select states, we want a new script. Character select, select state. Two things I need to do real quick because this is important. This is okay. Control assign state. These two need to match, or it's going to be very upsetting. So cool. So control assign state, And this one is characters. Okay, good. And now what we're going to do is public static Godot dot collections dot array int selected characters. Actually, so what we're going to do here is what I name these playable characters. That's what it is. Playable characters, select the characters. Okay, cool. And now we're just gonna do static. No, not that. We're gonna do playable characters. E1 selected character. Playable characters. 2 selected character. Then player manager. Here, max players will always be 2. That's what I should do. That. Next ad, the next ad is in a minute. So I'm gonna do a little more cleanup on the back end because the next ad is in a minute. When that ad is done, I'm gonna drop y'all off somewhere because it'll be about time for us to go. So yeah, we're gonna let those ads run for a bit, and then after that, we're out. Okay, ad break is okay. Ad break is clear. Okay, so yeah, because the main thing is that I'd have to dig in a little deeper insofar as like certain things getting set up. Essentially speaking, um, the way ideally that I did this in Final Spike when I did it the first time was that I already had icons for player one. I had select icons for player one and player two, basically doing their own selection stuff at some point, and basically that resulted in that basically resulted in basically I had each character select icon be its own little thing that was keeping track of what thing it highlighted, and then what would happen is that the scene manager would check what things those icons were on and then go from there. That's the idea. However, at this particular moment, that involves, I can do it, but it involves a little more work on the back end than what I want to do now, and we've already hit about 3 hours. So I want to find us somewhere to go hang out and all of that. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna fiddle around with it more because I'm still enforcing like a self shoot lanzer break for just a little bit more tonight. I'll look it over tomorrow in preparation for Archway Arcade on Friday. But thank y'all for coming by. I deeply appreciate it. Let me go see who we can even go hang out with. I think we were able to make it into GDQ last time, but the Juneteenth event is over. So we're not going to go over there again, but I do need to go check to see. Yeah, Twisted is still ineligible. But as far as we've been to see recently, so 18th. I forget who we went to go see on the 20th. But I know for a fact on the 22nd we went to Games Done Quick. Oh no, Kirby Master. So Kirby Master H was the 20th. And then before that was Games Done Quick on the 22nd. Okay, y'all, so here's the deal. Archway Arcade is on Friday. Yes. It should be on Friday. Yeah. So Archway Arcade is on Friday during the block of time that I normally stream on Fridays. So there is no stream this Friday. That is not happening. I will see y'all again Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time for the next episode of Tales of Vesperia, Definitive Edition. That's what's going to happen. That's the next time. Next time is going to be streamed. I'm not streaming this Friday because it's host Archway Arcade during that 6 to 9 block that I normally stream for y'all. So I'm going to go there. We're going to show Shoot Lancer, and everything's going to be chill. If you want to know game analysis and design article stuff that I do, I'm going to probably be moving off of the NeoCities blog and implementing, it'll still be accessible through NeoCities, but I will probably be doing I'll probably be doing something else. As far as blog solutions go, because I have to, with the NeoCities setup that I have right now, I have to manually update the HTML to do links and RSS feed stuff properly, and it's really exhausting, and I don't enjoy that, and it gets in the way of the writing process. Past design articles are over on my Medium. Stream VODs will be always up at youtube.com/@SJHDoesGames. Ko-Fi if you want to support me in the stream but don't want to give money to Amazon and Jeff Bezos. I prefer Ko-Fi subs over Twitch subs, because for the most part, if you do a recurring Ko-Fi, I get that money without having to wait for like a payout threshold. Ko-Fi still takes a bit of the payment off the top for their maintenance stuff, but it's a lot less than me having to do a 50-50 split with Twitch. Throne has stuff that you can help anonymously crowdfund for or gift give for, if that's your thing, you want to support the stream that way. I'll put an AC on there at some point before Sunday, just that it's there. And my card has my social media links on there, but mostly I'm active mostly these days on Blue Sky. Munity. If you want to know more about Munity, which is the indie game studio co-op that I helped co-found, we are the ones collectively that are making Shoot Lancer. You want to go over to our website, munity.games. Our Patreon has both a free tier that you can join and a paid tier that you can use to support us. Do whichever. I will be transparent in saying that the paid tier, if you join that, gets you some nice perks, some nice perks on the Discord side of things, and I will be more transparent in saying that that's stuff that if you can't afford a paid Patreon sub, that does go a long way toward helping us with other expenses that we have as we continue to kind of like build up funding and get a base going. I only bring this up particularly because Ladybug Mark 1, which is our original desktop arcade build, she's been going through it. Traveling from New York to California for GDC and then back again and then out to CEO for Orlando more recently and then back again. She's been through it. She's having a hard time. And so while we are in the long term looking to get a new build up, like a new cabinet up, especially like our first prototype full-size one for Shoot Lancer, like an actual arcade cabinet, we do have to consider like how we're going to show in the short term. So anything that you can contribute toward helping us sort of like figure out where our next steps are with that, deeply appreciated via Patreon. That's what your Patreon money goes to. If you want to play Shoot Lancer itself, this past weekend we did just update it, not with the stuff that y'all saw today, because that stuff is, a bit of a secret. That stuff's a bit of a secret. Well, not a secret, but that stuff's not in the build that is up on itch now. But you do have a version that is a little bit closer to what the game is now, as opposed to the previous version of the prototype. So I recommend that you go check it out. It's got a Windows build, a Mac build, and a Linux build. So all those work. Last but not least, if you want to hang out with us when we're not doing stream stuff, you do need a Roblox account to join the Guilded. Not my rules, unfortunately. Discord has been doing some fuck shit with like in-app ads and AI and all this other nonsense. So generative AI specifically and all this other nonsense. So yeah, so we don't really mess with them. But if you're like, I don't really want to like do like, well, I don't want to have to make a Roblox account, I understand. I completely understand. And especially if you're just here for Shoot Lancer stuff, That's the part where I go, you want to join the Patreon even free, you get in on the Discord. At some point, I will probably go find the Discord invitation link and make sure that that is up and around. That's the plan. We just said that, I thought. Okay, who we're gonna go hang out with? Let me go see real quick. I need to also go send the Archway Arcade link to folks who might be interested in showing up. Okay, let's see. Twitch.tv. Who's on? I don't think we've hung out with MD in a while. I know we haven't hung out with MD in a while. I don't think we've hung out with MD in a while, and I feel like hanging out with MD is the play. So, MD14 is a variety streamer, does a lot of stuff. Currently, though, he's playing some Stellar Blade, and we haven't hung out with MD in a while, so we're gonna go hang out over there. If Stellar Blade is not your thing, I understand. I do not take it personally, but because we are out here trying to support Black people, we're gonna head over there. Please, when we get over there, give MD14 this raid message. SJH does the raids. Throw any favorite emotes. They don't have to be my emotes, whatever emotes you feel like. Keep them appropriate, don't be weird. Be on your best behavior. This is your reminder as we head out. Black Lives Matter, trans rights are human rights, reproductive rights are human rights. Be excellent to each other, but not to be against racist, terrorists, sexist, anti-queer folks, or fascists. I don't make the rules. Palestine, Sudan, the Congo, New Caledonia, Haiti must all be free. None of us are free till we're all free. Iran must be free too. Not even, I'm sorry. Iran must be free as well. None of us are free until we're all free. Oppression is oppression. None of us are free till we're all free. Period. And end of story. That's what it is. Thank you again, CJ, for the resub earlier. I know I may have sort of said it, but in case I forgot, thank you for the resub earlier. Deeply appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Go have fun with MD. I'll see y'all on Sunday. If wherever you are happens to be really hot right now, stay as cool as you can. Technically speaking, juice is also hydration. So as long as you are drinking something, that is the important part. All right. Later, y'all. Deuces.